ever find yourself replaying a cringy moment from 10 years ago? Maybe like that one time you called your first boss mom by accident? Or like that email you haven't replied to yet, but that will certainly ruin your reputation, destroy your career, and have you living alone under a bridge somewhere? The way anxiety has that tendency to pull us into the fears of the future, regrets over the past, and leave us blind to the beauty and safety of the present. Welcome back, my friends, to Shrink Talk with Dr. Robert, hosted by me, Dr. Robert, a board-certified psychiatrist. In today's video, I'll be discussing why I call anxiety the ultimate mental time traveler, and how to get yourself back into the present. So let's get started. Okay, so why is anxiety a mental time traveler? So, unlike fear, which alerts us to the immediate dangers, anxiety is always scanning our environment, both internal and external, for any signs of any potential danger, both for good and bad. But too often, anxiety is calibrated too high, especially in the modern world, where there's constant uncertainty and change, where we constantly are stuck worrying about things that may or may not be, or things that happened in the past that we no longer have any control over. Of course, anxiety has that tendency to only latch on to things that matter to us. So relationships, career, finances, the world at large, anything we care about, anxiety has the potential to start to infect and have us be on very high alert as to possible outcomes or dangers around that thing. Of course, as anybody who's experienced anxiety, which I suspect is anybody who's lived life, can attest to, this can pull you away from feeling present, enjoying the things that are here and that are typically safe, and have us living mentally in this constant on edge, high concern over what can happen, what has happened that we no longer have control over, and blinds us to how to navigate things that we have control over right now. It's a common reason people come seeking help from me. Of course, evolutionarily, anxiety developed in a setting where you had to worry about very, very important things that could happen once in a while, like saber-toothed tiger breaking into your cave. Not small dangers that come up recurrently throughout the day, like unread Slack messages, or whether or not you turned off the faucet. I suspect that because we live in the modern world where there are so many alerts, so many things going on in our lives, so many obligations we have to juggle, for many people, our internal alarm system, our anxiety, gets turned up. So imagine a fire alarm that goes off every time you try to make toast. The warning system is no longer proportionate to the dangers, and those potential dangers are happening all the time in various ways. So I like to reframe anxiety as something useful, an inherent part of our brains that alerts us to danger. But when it's calibrated to be too sensitive, it alerts us too often, too intensely, and it's no longer helping us navigate the world. So what's the issue with this? What's the issue with anxiety and this phenomenon of being a mental time traveler, as I put it? I would say that it's because it pulls you away from the present and the things that are meaningful, that you have some degree of control over, and that you can also feel a lot of gratitude towards. Because the cringy moment from last week, it's over. The disaster you're forecasting hasn't happened. You're safe, but your brain's not letting you believe it. And so your coffee's getting cold, your toast is getting soggy, all while your mind is stuck in 2037 trying to plan out how you'll scrape together a living once AI takes over the planet. Shoot, what am I gonna do? Maybe like trademark an AI, Dr. Robert? I don't know. All right, so what are some of those tools that can get you back into living in the present? So first off, just be aware that you're mentally time traveling. Just even that alone can help center you back into the present. Being aware that, oh shoot, I'm stuck worrying about these things that are way down the line, or these things way from the past, and I'm no longer focused on right here, right now. And then, of course, there can be some grounding techniques. These are some common techniques used by therapists and psychiatrists to teach people to feel more present in their environment. So that can involve naming 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. That allows you to draw on your senses to bring you back into the present. You can also try box breathing, so inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds, waiting for 4 seconds. And other types of mindfulness exercises, deep breathing, meditation can also kind of pull you back from these states of the past, future, and back into the present. And if you're still finding yourself in this mental time traveling experience, give yourself a return ticket. How this looks is you can tell yourself, okay, I can worry about this later, but right now I'm just gonna focus on getting back to brushing my teeth. Or I'll catastrophize about living in the cave in the post-apocalyptic world after my lunch. Right now, I'm just gonna focus on my nice meal. And living life in the present, it's not about being zen all the time, being present all the time, but just being mindful of it. So being mindful when you're finding yourself worrying about things in the future, from the past, being mindful of that, trying some of these techniques, approaching it even with curiosity and a non-judgmental sort of approach to it, because you don't want to be beating yourself up over it recurrently. That's not going to help at all. But being able to take notice, approach it with curiosity, and center yourself back into the present. And doing that with a degree of trial and error over and over again will make it more and more reflexive. And of course, seeing a therapist, a mental health provider that can help you practice this, apply it to your own unique situation, can go a really long way. And if these skills continue to feel very difficult, perhaps they're not sticking, then perhaps seeing a psychiatrist and talking about a psychiatric medication to make it more applicable could also be part of your journey. And of course, the typical brain hygiene things of attending to relationships, continuing to exercise regularly, eat healthy, stay away from drugs and alcohol, all of those will also help you feel more in control of your mental time travel. Because one thing alone won't ever be the single thing to help with this type of anxiety and mental time travel. So if after this video you've recognized that your brain is a mental time traveler, fear not, you're not alone. That's most people experiencing life every day. But with some of these tips and just even being aware of it, you can take a little bit more control and feel like you're in the captain's seat. Anxiety may try to drag you into the past or the future, but remember, you can always center yourself here, right now, the present, which is always more safe and has a lot more things to offer for you. So let me know in the comments down below, is this something you guys have experienced? What are some good ways to bring yourselves back into the present? All right, my friends, thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, leave comments down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week with a new mental health topic I'll be discussing. Take care, my friends.